In the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before. So the king asked me, why does your face look so sad when you're not ill? This can be nothing but sadness of heart. I was very much afraid. The reason why he was afraid, by the way, just a cultural tidbit, is that when you look sad in the king's presence, it suggests to the king he's in control. And so it's an indictment against the king. So Nehemiah said, I was very much afraid. Watch what he said, though. But I said to the king, may the king live forever. In other words, it's not you, king, it's not you, it's not you. May the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my fathers are buried lies in ruins and its gates have been destroyed by fire? The king said to me, what is it you want? Then I prayed to the God of heaven, and I answered the king. If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city in Judah, where my fathers are buried, so that I can rebuild it. Then the king, with the queen sitting beside him, asked me, how long will your journey take, and when will you get back? It pleased the king to send me, so I set a time. Verse 7. I also said to him, if it pleases the king, may I have letters to the governors of Trans-Euphrates, so that they will provide me safe conduct until I arrive in Judah? And may I have a letter to Asaph, keeper of the king's forest, so that he will give me timber to make beams for the gates of the citadel by the temple, and for the city wall, and for the residence I will occupy. And because the gracious hand of my God was upon me, the king granted my request. Watch this now. Answer. 4 answers to the question. Question, how do I do what God expects? Another way of posing the question, how do I serve as a biblical advocate? Answer number 1, pray. I pray for those in need. I pray with those in need. I pray in front of those in power. Pray for, pray with, pray in front of. And here's Nehemiah, there in verse 4, when the king said, what is it you want? Then I prayed to the God of heaven. See, he's praying in front of. Now, and sometimes you can pray out loud in front of, and to hold people accountable by way of your praying to God, but that's not what Nehemiah was doing. He had already prayed by way of his question. King, my face is sad because the place where my fathers are buried, it lies in ruins, and the gates have been burned with fire, the walls are demolished. That's his prayer by way of statement. But when you're in front of someone and you know you need to pray because they're about to make a decision that impacts you. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that where you're right there and they're about to make a decision. That's happened to me a number of times. That's when I start praying inside. Oh, God, touch that person. Keep my eyes open now. Don't look like crazy. I just, oh, God, touch that person. Give me favor. Anybody have been there? Is it just me? Yeah, I remember I was in the airport, and they were talking about that everyone has been booked to this flight. They're not going to be getting on the flight. And, oh, I wanted to go home. And it was my turn next in line. The lady said, sir, I'm not sure if we have any more seats. I'm going to check the computer one more time. And I'm saying, oh, God, touch that woman. Let us see. When the screen pops up, let her see. And she said, oh, one seat just came available. I said, that's my seat. I smiled. I said, I want you to understand how there are times we have to be able to do just that. You pray for, you pray with, and you pray in front of. So first answer to the question, how do I do what God expects? Or how do I become a biblical advocate? First, pray. Second answer is use your gifts. We all have gifts. We all have gifts. We all have gifts. We all have gifts. Stop me. We all have gifts. I want us to see that we all have gifts. And then every gift that God's given you, watch the gift that Nehemiah has that we may have overlooked, that we also have. You use the gifts that you have. And one of the ways to identify your gifts is the word shape. S-H-A-P-E. Shape. Let's look at it as an acronym. S-H-A-P-E. S, spiritual gifts. H, heart. A, abilities. P, personality. E, experiences. Sometimes your hurts because of your victimization endears you to people. Out of it comes a gift. Shape, spiritual gifts. H, heart, your passion. A, abilities. P, your personality. and E, your experiences. All those will point you to your gift. So we've all been shaped by God with gifts.